Ireland versus New Zealand is one of the most in-demand video on my channel because students now know we have to explore newer options. So yes, these are two amazing English-speaking countries, and let's now make a deep down comparison between both these countries. So first point of comparison between New Zealand and Ireland would be average salaries. Now average salary is a very important factor for me, so I'm giving it 8 points. On a general basis, in Ireland, the salaries are way higher than salaries of New Zealand. In New Zealand, on an average basis, after completing your degree, you're looking at a salary of 40,000 US dollars, as opposed to Ireland, where you're looking at a salary of 55,000 US dollars once you complete your degree. So this point goes to Ireland, where Ireland gets 7 points and New Zealand gets 4 points. Second point of comparison would be cost of living. Now, cost of living, specifically in Dublin, is very expensive, which would be not similar to Auckland, Wellington, or any other city of New Zealand. If we have to give it points, we'll have to rank Ireland a bit lower because majority of the students usually end up going to Dublin only. Dublin is the biggest city in Ireland, and that is where students usually end up going. As a result, if I keep points out of 5, Ireland would get 2 points, New Zealand would get 4 points. So tally becomes 9 Ireland, 8 New Zealand. Next point of comparison would be cost of education. Now, cost of education is usually lower in Ireland. Now, per year tuition fees would be lower in New Zealand, but New Zealand will have a 2-year degree as opposed to Ireland 1-year degree for a master's. So if you're doing a 1-year master's degree, you're spending somewhere around 20 lakh rupees, as opposed to New Zealand, where in 2 years you might be spending 30 lakh rupees or more. As a result, if we have to give it points out of 5, I will be giving 4 points to Ireland, 2 points to New Zealand. According to our updated points, Ireland would be 13, New Zealand 10. Next point of comparison would be post-study work visa. Now, if you're planning to go to these countries, after you graduate as an international student, you need a post-study work visa. In Ireland, you'll be getting a 2-year post-study work visa. In New Zealand, you'll be getting a 3-year post-study work visa. Now, I would have given this point a lot of emphasis if it was USA. But since it is not USA and it is Ireland and New Zealand that we're talking about, where it is not that expensive for the employers to give you visa after your completion of post-study work visa. So to get a skilled immigrant visa after your completion of post-study work visa is very much possible in both these countries. So it's not as important of a point to be considered. So if I have to give it points out of 3, New Zealand would get 3 points, Ireland 2 points. So according to our current tally, Ireland would be 15, New Zealand 13. Next point of comparison is a very important point, that is the kind of universities that you would be going to. Now, if you're planning to go to New Zealand, there are 2 good universities. Out of that, University of Auckland is one of the best universities that you can study in. But on the other hand, University of Otago, which is the second ranked university of New Zealand, it is a decent, good university, but nothing compared to Irish universities. So Irish universities are usually way much more world renowned. You look at TCD and UCD, they are way much more well renowned than universities in New Zealand. And in general, the quality of education in Ireland is far superior than the quality of education in New Zealand. And if I'm giving it points out of 5, I will be giving 4 points to Ireland and only 2 points to New Zealand. So according to our current rankings, Ireland would be 19, New Zealand 15. So if we talk about cities in Ireland, we have Dublin, Belfast and Cork. But on the other hand, in New Zealand, Auckland, Wellington and Christchurch are way much more bigger cities than Ireland. So in Ireland, Dublin is one of the best cities where majority of the job opportunities come out of. But in New Zealand, it is way much more well sparsed and there are opportunities in other cities as well. So I'll give 3 points to New Zealand and only 2 points to Ireland. So according to our current stats, Ireland 20, New Zealand 18. Now let's talk about climate. Climate depends a lot on which kind of climate that you're looking for, but at least in New Zealand you'll get a varied kind of climate. You can also get hot weather and also very cold weather depending on the city that you plan to go to. On the other hand, Ireland would have a lot of rain, which people usually don't love. And in fact, I also consider weather as a very important factor. So I'll keep it 4 points. And out of 4 points, I'll give 3 points to New Zealand and only 1 point to Ireland. So now we stand at 21-21. Ireland 21, New Zealand 21. But after this point, New Zealand is going to be decimated. If you're an entrepreneur, you're planning to set up business in any of these countries, Ireland is way better. New Zealand, it would be harder for you to set up business. As a result, 2 points to Ireland, 1 point to New Zealand. Now we're at 23-22. Now you also need to understand in both these economies, if you're planning to reach at a very high level, you get limited because these are not that great big countries and there are limited opportunities in both these countries. But one silver lining here is Ireland has Europe with it and you can move to any part of Europe, because in some time you'll be an European Union citizen. You can move to any part of Europe. You can move to Germany, you can move to Netherlands, you can move to France. Extremely huge economies where you can make a lot of high bucks as well. You can move to Nordic countries as well as a part of an EU citizen. On the other hand, as a Kiwi citizen, you can move to any part of Australia. It is usually considered that New Zealand is an additional state of Australia. And there are a lot of provisions for a New Zealand person, a Kiwi person to move to Australia. But comparing Europe with Australia, would not be like for like comparison. Europe is a way much more bigger whale where there are a lot of other opportunities. New Zealand would get only 2 points and Ireland would get 4 points. As a result, Ireland would be at 27, New Zealand would be at 24. Next point would be ease of travel. If I want to go to Ireland, it is way much more easy for me to go to Ireland as opposed to New Zealand. Now for New Zealand, the tickets are really expensive and it is in a very remote location. It is at the end of Australia. So to reach New Zealand every time whenever I want to come back, it's really tough. As opposed to Ireland, which is very centrally located. I want to travel entire Europe, I can. I want to go towards Asia side, I can. I want to go to US, I can. South America, Africa, all of it is very centrally located, Ireland. On the other hand, New Zealand is extremely isolated. And you're on my channel, you know how important traveling is for me. I'll give 4 points to traveling. 4 out of 4 points go to Ireland and only 1 point goes to New Zealand. So we stand at 31 Ireland, 25 New Zealand. Now let's talk about the most important points, that is ease of finding jobs. It would be way much more easier for an international student to find jobs in Ireland as opposed to New Zealand, and this is such an important factor. I'll keep 8 points to it, and out of 8 points I'll give 6 points to Ireland and only 4 points to New Zealand. Updated ranking would be 37 Ireland, 29 New Zealand. Next point would be what course to go for. In Ireland, you should ideally go for tech-oriented courses or finance-oriented courses. In New Zealand, you're looking at way much more civil engineering courses, environment-related courses, agriculture and forest-related courses. But if you're still planning to go to Ireland, then watch this video, and New Zealand, then watch this video. I mean, complete videos where I talk about both these countries. Here, just click.